Morning, folks. I'm recording this first thing this morning, as you can see from the clothes I'm wearing. And I was asked by Doug Howitt, our Associate Dean, if I would contribute to the debate on whether the lecture is dead. So I just wanted to run through a few key points as to why I believe that the lecture in higher education is dead. First thing is our students. Our students these days are a very, very mixed bunch. When I was at university, we were all pretty much school leavers, going straight on to university, getting a grant and working our way through university. Nowadays, our students are much more diverse. We have a large number of international students who come from very diverse backgrounds with very different experience and very different dreams of what they're going to go on and do. We've also got a number of students who are mature students, who perhaps have children to look after. Many of our students need to work because they need to earn enough money to be able to fund themselves through university. And in addition to that, we've also got students who have other dependents. They may have partners who are dependent on them. So their lives are much more complex than our lives were when we were going through university. So I just want to emphasise the point that nowadays it's almost impossible to demand that students turn up on a given day, at a given time, at a given location, just to hear what I've got to say. If I just take this opportunity to show you, if I turn the camera round, does this look like an inspiring environment to you? This is one of our quite good lecture rooms in the James Starley building. It's certainly not one of the worst, but does it look inspiring? I'm asking this question because I am concerned that we are losing out. Sorry, just tilt the camera a little bit. We are losing out to the fact that we're not providing the best environment for students to learn when we're doing lectures in our current lecture theatres. Now, it's not just about the lecture theatres, it's much wider than that. Lectures are really good. When they're delivered well, they're really good for conveying detailed information about our disciplines, about our particular subjects. And that's why they form a key component of all of our discipline-specific conferences. They're really good at getting that information across, and they're also very good at inspiring and stimulating individuals who are interested. Now, the problem with that is that in my day, when I was at university, many years ago, the only way I could access that information after I'd graduated was if I could find a friendly university who would let me use the library. I'd climb 3 flights of stairs, work through a card index, pull out the relevant card, find the Dewey classification number, go and find the book on the shelf, take it off, and then I would have access to that information. Nowadays, all of us have got access to that information instantaneously. So lots of the detailed knowledge that I had to learn as an undergrad, I no longer need to have that information in my head. I can access it. So what do we need to teach our students these days? Well, we need to teach them some key concepts. And we need to really make sure that they understand the key concepts of each of our individual disciplines. Those key concepts, they need to be able to use them to access good information, access information that's been peer-reviewed, edited, checked, confirmed, and that they know is reliable and trustworthy. On the other hand, they need to be able to discriminate between that good information and the really poor information that's available to them on iPhones, tablets, even laptop computers. So nowadays, our job is not to provide them with lots of detailed knowledge. And in fact, the detailed knowledge that we do provide our students with if we provide it to them in their first year, the chances are by the time they graduate in the third or fourth year, that knowledge will be redundant. And I can give examples of that, which hopefully we can discuss during the debate session. The point of recording my position was the fact that I did this morning in 5 minutes. You now are in control of what you listen to. If you're not interested in a particular point I'm making, you can fast forward. On the other hand, if you don't understand the point I'm trying to make, you can rewind, you can review it, and you can go backwards. On the other hand, you could always just pause it. If you get something really important, for example, a WhatsApp call or a Twitter call that you really need to respond to because you've got to try and sort out what you're doing at the weekend. But you can pause it, you can interrupt what you're doing, and then you can come back to it. And finally, if you really wanted to, and you really think I'm talking rubbish, you're quite entitled to just simply mute what I'm saying. So you're in control of your access to this information. When it's a lecture, the students are all having to sit in these uniform rows, and we're having to deliver our teaching. Whether the student understands that bit or not, they have to listen to it. And if they miss something, they've missed it, and they've got no chance of catching up again. So it's about rebalancing where the responsibility lies for a student's learning. If we can try to put the responsibility for learning into their hands, then that's a much more balanced way of trying to get the information across. There are many, many more reasons why I believe that the lecture is dead, and that instead of spending our time lecturing, if we put material like this online for them, and then we get them in to go through those key concepts that underpin our disciplines, then we can get them to understand it. Confucius is widely reported as saying, tell me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will understand. So that's where we need to be putting our effort, is into involving the students, getting them doing things and really understanding those fundamental concepts that then allow them to use all that information they've got at their command to solve problems that we haven't even thought about yet. That's my key point as to why I believe that the lecture is dead. I don't believe that the lecture as a whole thing is dead, but in terms of HE undergraduate teaching, and probably postgraduate teaching as well, I do believe that the lecture can be supplanted with other means of achieving the same outcome. And actually, instead of producing sausage graduates, burger and chips graduates, we can start to produce gourmet graduates who are unique in their own rights. But that's a long way ahead. I'm just looking at where we stand for the next 2 or 3 years. So hopefully I've convinced you. We'll see you in the debate. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Cheers. Bye-bye.